Hello and welcome to another Marvel Champions the card game playthrough. This time we're going to be using Spider-Man Miles Morales up against Sandman. We're just going to be doing standard mode. It's been a while since I've played, so hopefully I don't mess too many things up. But for Sandman 1, he's a scheme of 1, attack of 2, and Sandblast is a force interrupt. When Sandman attacks you, that attack deals indirect damage. If your identity takes any amount of damage from that attack, resolve the Surging Stance ability on city streets. And what is that ability? It is this card here. City Streets is a location. Surging Sands specials. Place one sand counter here. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to the number of sand counters here. As a hero action, you can exhaust a character you control or remove sand counters from here equal to the character's attack. Limit once per round per player. And I believe that's supposed to have 4 to begin with, so we'll find out here for sure. So contents, we got Sandman 1 and 2, and we did City and Chaos, and standard encounter sets, and then a modular encounter set. Guerrilla Tactics is the name of the one we use for this video. I'll go over deck construction at the end. And then set up search the encounter deck for the city streets environment and put into play and place 4 sand counters on it. So it's already in play. We got the 4 sand counters. And he is at 16 hit points for stage 1. So Spider-Man, Thor 2, attack 2, 2 defense. His Venom Blast special, you deal 2 damage to an enemy, stun that enemy, and Spider Camouflage is another special ability to give Spider-Man a tough status card and confuse an enemy. Hand size of 5 and hit points of 9. So we have the hit points already set to 9. And on this side, he's Miles Morales, recovery of 4. Response, after you change to this form, shuffle 1 Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. And he has a hand size of 6 on this side. So we'll get right into it and draw 6 cards. Drawing Web Shot, Swing In, Precision Strike, Helicarrier, Web Shot, and Gangly. Oh, we forgot to flip this over. So this main scheme, is a force response after an acceleration token is placed on the scheme. Deal 3 indirect damage to the first player. So if this is completed, you lose the game. It's going to start with 2 and get 1 per turn. And once it gets to 9, we lose the game. So we're not going to mulligan. We're just going to pay 3 for our Helicarrier to get that out. And what that does, you max 1 per player. And then you exhaust Helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays is phased by 1. So we'll exhaust it, flip over. So our next card reduces the cost by 1. So the Web Shot we can do for only 1, and we'll pay for it with the energy resource. So deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you pay for this card using a energy resource, resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast ability. So first we'll do the 4 damage, bringing Sandman down to 12, and then his Venom Blast ability is deal 2 damage to an enemy and stun that enemy. So 2 damage to Sandman, and he is stunned. Ready up. Oh, actually we can still attack. We'll thwart for 2. Go ahead and thwart, get rid of that, and then we'll ready up. Draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a look at those. We got Brawn, Precision Strike, Web Shooter, Ghost Spider, and Relentless Assault. Villain phase, we get 1 threat added there. He's going to try to attack, but he's stunned. So just loses that instead. And then Dirt Trap. So comes in with 1 threat, 1 defeated, resolve the Surging Sands ability on city streets. And then resolve it again. So you do it twice. Okay. So 1 threat. It has a crisis icon, so we can't remove threat till we deal with that. So I'll go ahead and pay 1 resource to put out a Web Shooter. So it comes in with 3 web counters, and you can exhaust it and remove 1 web counter from it to generate a wild resource. So we'll put those 3 on there. We're going to use our helicarrier to make our next card 1 cheaper. We'll go ahead and pay 2 to put out Brawn. So he's a 3-cost ally with Thwart of 1, Attack of 1, and in response, after Brawn attacks, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So we will attack with Brawn for 1, bringing Sandman down to 9. He takes 1 consequential damage, and we'll remove the threat from Dirt Trap. So we resolve Surging Sands, place 1 sand counter on here, wrong counters, and then discard cards from the top of the encounter deck equal to the number of sand counters on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, just discarded like that. And then Spider-Man is going to attack for 2, bringing Sandman down to 7. We'll ready everybody back up and draw 5 cards. Drawing Out of My Way, Web Shot, Double Life, Web Shooter, and Power of Aggression. So that's 1 threat added to here, and then he's going to attack us for 2 plus a boost card. So he deals indirect damage, so 2 plus no boost. We're going to put all the damage onto Brawn. So we didn't take any damage, so we don't resolve Surging Sands. And we get this, so deal X indirect damage on players divided as you choose, where X is equal to the number of sand counters on city streets. If there are no sand counters on city streets, place 3 sand counters on it and shuffle this card into your encounter deck. So 5 indirect damage. We will go ahead and we'll just put 1 on Brawn. So, and then we'll take 4 down to 5. So we'll make our next card 1 cheaper and get out another web shooter. Put 3 more counters there. We'll use our web shooter and double life to pay for web shot. So deal 4 damage to an enemy if you pay for this card using an energy resource to resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast. So we have our energy, and that's a wild anyway. So 4 damage there, down to 3. And then with Venom Blast deals 2 damage, down to 1, and you stun the enemy. And then Brawn can go ahead and attack for 1. So Brawn is defeated, and stage 1 is down to 0. And remove a threat from the scheme for Brawn. So phase 1 is gone, and now to phase 2, scheme of 2, attack of 3. When revealed, resolve the Surging Sands ability on city streets. And Sand Blast. Force Interrupt. When Sandman attacks you, that attack deals indirect damage. If your identity takes any amount of damage from that attack, resolve the Surging Sands ability on city streets. Okay, so that's the same there. I think I was supposed to do it twice when I did the Dirt Trap. Yeah, I was supposed to resolve it twice. So I'm supposed to have added another one, so this should have been at 6. And then I should have lost 6 more cards, so we'll just do that now. 6 cards discarded. So that's for that. And then we gotta do it again for when he is revealed. So 7. And since it would have been at 6, we would have taken another damage from our encounter card. So I think that makes everything back up to where we are. And that's 7 cards discarded this time. So his health, he's going to be at 18 now. 18 hit points. And we'll just go ahead and pay 2 and use Out of My Way, deal 3 damage to an enemy, 5 instead if that enemy has a guard for control, which he doesn't. So it's just 3 damage. It's down to 15. And I think I'm going to just attack for 2. Just going to try to deal as much damage as I can. Ready up. Draw 5 cards. I think we have enough set up here. We should be able to just use cards now. Nick Fury, Relentless Assault, Aggressive Energy, Arachnobatics, and Spider-Man Peter Parker. 1 threat added there. He's stunned, so we remove that. And then he wasn't able to attack, but we still get an encounter card, and we get our Never. It's a Treachery Peril. While you're resolving this card, other players cannot help you. So when revealed, choose place 1 acceleration token on the main scene, exhaust a character you control, and spend 1 resource of any type. So I think I'm going to choose the second option, exhaust a character you control, and spend 1 resource of any type. And I'll spend that resource there. So that's taken care of. And then I'm going to use both web shooters and my helicarrier. So that's my next card is 1 cheaper. Then that's 1, 2, and 3 resources to play Nick Fury. Thwart of 2, attack of 2, 3 health, and force response. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1, remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. At the end of the round, if Nick Fury is still in play, discard him. So I think I'm going to draw 3 cards this time. Drawing Strength, Swing In, and Jefferson Davis. Alright, and then we're going to just pay 2 for Swing In. Remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you pay for this card using a mental resource, use all Spider-Man Spider camouflage ability. We're using Wild, so that's a mental. It's not an attack event, so we don't get to do additional damage, but we just want to be able to camouflage. So we remove 4 threat. There's only 2 there. And then the camouflage ability, Spider-Man gets a tough status card, and we can fuse an enemy. That's going to be helpful. Then Nick Fury will just attack for 2, bringing Sandman down to 11, and then we'll overpay for Arachnobatics and deal 2 damage to an enemy. If it has a stun status card, deal 3 additional damage to it. If it has a confused status card, deal 3 additional damage to it. So it's going to be 5 damage, bringing Sandman down to 6. And then we're going to flip over to Miles Morales. And then after you change to this form, shuffle 1 Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. And the card we picked was a Web Shot. If we can draw this card, the game is over. So that's enough damage to win. I'll shuffle that in. We'll ready everybody up, and then draw up to our hand size, which is going to be 6 this time, because we are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are Miles Morales, and we got a symbiote suit, energy, double life, web shot, relentless assault, and power of aggression. So we get 1 threat added here. He's confused, so he can't scheme. And then we get an encounter card, and it's Rhino, the minion. steady, so he requires 2 statuses of the same type to be stunned or confused. Rhymes attacks gain overkill and piercing. 3 attack, no scheme, 8 health. And at the end of the phase, so Nick Fury goes away. We'll just go ahead and flip over to Spider-Man right away. We'll make our next card 1 cheaper. Use our web shooter. So this only costs 3. We'll use the web shooter and those 2 resources. Your identity gets +1 to each of its basic powers, +1 hand size, and +10 hit points with the symbiote suit. So we're up to 14. And then we're just going to pay 2 to do a web shot. So deal 4 damage to an enemy if you pay for this card using a energy resource, which we are. Resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast ability. So 4 damage, and then bringing him down to 2, and the Venom Blast does 2 damage to an enemy. Bringing him down to 0, and he gets stunned. And we could have still attacked, and still had this we could play as well. But that is all for this playthrough. So Spider-Man was able to defeat Sandman on easy mode. So maybe Spider-Man's ready to try on expert. He seems like he's pretty good. So again, stick around for deck construction, and I'll be right back with that. Alright, so for deck construction, we'll start with the villain. We had the Sandman 1 and 2 there for our villain. And hapless pedestrians is the main scheme when using Sandman. You have the city streets environment that starts off in the game. We have Sandman's encounter set cards, and we use the City in Chaos modular and the Guerrilla Tactics modular. We also had standard cards in there. For Spider-Man, we use Spider-Man Miles Morales. The Peter Parker version of Spider-Man comes in the base game of Marvel Champions, so this came in our Sinister Motives expansion that we got. We have Spider-Man's 15 basic cards there. We went with aggression, so we'd use 2 power of aggression, 2 aggressive energies, 3 out of my ways, 3 relentless assaults, 3 precision strikes, Brawn and Hulk. Our basic cards, we have the 3 basic energy or resource cards: energy, strength, and genius. I used the newer looking ones that can come with the X-Men sets. I think those came with Wolverine pack I got. So we have endurance, symbiote suit, Helicarrier, Avengers Mansion, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Ghost Spider, and Nick Fury. And his nemesis set is the Prowler. And then Keeping Secrets, Obligation was in the villain's deck as well. So if you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.